back. My name is Thomas, and we're going to be looking at Book 3, Sutra number 2 and 3 in this video. So again, I've got a couple different translations, 4 actually. So the first one is the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali with the translation by Swami Satchidananda, and we'll just get into his translation here. So first, the Sanskrit, and again, the Sanskrit's going to be the same for all 4 of the translations, and I'll give you the different translations. But again, if you're reading this in Sanskrit, it's all the same. Tatra pratyayatantanta dhyanam. Tatra pratyayakatanata dhyanam. Dhyana is the continuous flow of cognition toward that object. Dhyana is the continuous flow of cognition toward that object. So if you recall in the last video, we studied dharana is the binding of the mind to one place, object, or idea. And now dhyana is the continuous flow of cognition toward that object. The full Yoga Sutras 1 and 2, right? So book 3, numbers 1 and 2, from Geshe Michael Rauch and Christine McNally in their Yoga Sutras. Locking the mind on an object is focus, and staying on that object over a stretch of time is fixation. Locking the mind on an object is focus, and staying on that object over a stretch of time is fixation. Sometimes I think they're trying to be poetic just to be poetic. I don't mean to make that sound like a dig. It's just sometimes it's easy to overcomplicate things. Mukunda styles, right? Meditation depends upon this foundation for directing thoughts into a continuous flow of awareness. So again, the first sutra in the 3rd book, contemplation is the confining of thought to one point. Meditation depends upon this foundation for directing thoughts into a continuous flow of awareness. I think really good. Meditation depends upon this foundation for directing thoughts into a continuous flow of awareness. In our online version, concentration is binding the psyche to a place. Again, this is Paul Harvey. Concentration is binding the psyche to a place. There, the continuity of psychic activity is meditation. Concentration is binding the psyche to a place. There, the continuity of psychic activity is meditation. Okay, so again, I grew up with this translation, and you know, when I say I grew up, this was the first one I studied, and the translation I really like, I'll show you real quick. Hopefully you can see this. So if you look closely, there's the translation of the Sanskrit calligraphy, which is the topmost part. Then it's broken down word by word. And then he gives you the full sentence. Now all this stuff underneath, this paragraph underneath, this is all the commentary. And in this commentary, Satchidananda says, the Hindu scriptures give a beautiful example of this continuous flow. They say it is like pouring oil from one pot into another. It is a continuous string. It doesn't break. The mind is fixed. Communication between meditator and object of meditation is steady. That's what is called dhyana. Normally, what we are doing when we say we are meditating is dharana. After long practice of dharana, gradually the quote flow of cognition gets a little longer and it becomes dhyana. So this is, again, it's the best image, right? This flowing of oil from one pot to another, right? Thick, unbroken, steady, continuous flow. Right? So between you and the candle, between you and the breath, between your focus that's bound in one place, right, becomes continuous. And once that flow becomes continuous, then we have true meditation. And it's in that flow, in that state of meditation, that we can then move on to the next stages. Right? The meditation goes deeper. It actually starts to transform the cells, actually starts to transform the muscles, stronger bones, stronger muscles, better flow of energy, right, through the body. Right? And this is where they can start to measure the neurolinguistic changes in the mind. Right? They can see how the brain synapses fire. They can see how connections are made faster. And this is how meditation is of benefit. Now, this video isn't really about how we're being benefited by meditation in the sense that we could become more productive, right? That we could produce more, we could do more, we could organize better, we can keep track of more things, right? And those all might be really nice byproducts of the meditation practice. But what the connections are really for is to go deeper and deeper into the self, right? Deeper and deeper into the body, deeper and deeper into that cosmic state of being, right? That is one with all things. So that we are not trying to necessarily become better at business, right? Just simply more aware of the richness of life, right? More aware of what it is to be a human being, more aware of what it is to be alive. So in meditation, right, first we are practicing dharana, right, which is concentration. Then from dharana, we are led on into meditation. Right? And then from that meditation, right, we have what is called samadhi, right? Samadhi, tat eva artha matra nirbasham svarupa sunyam eva samadhi. Oh man, that's a lot. All right. So tad, that, eva, indeed, artha, object, matra, alone, only, nirbasam, shining forth and illuminating, svarupa, its own form, sunyam, devoid, empty, eva, as if, samadhi, contemplation, profound absorption, bringing into harmony. Samadhi is the same meditation when there is the shining of the object alone, as if devoid of form. And this is why the object is meant to be holy. Right? Any object that we choose externally ultimately needs to be brought internal. So if we concentrate on a candle, on a light out there, we need to ultimately be concentrating on the light in here. If we're concentrating on the sound om of the vocal cords, we want to be concentrating on the sound om of the sound within, right? The om that you're already singing. Right? We'll talk about this more in another video maybe, what the sound om really is. But it has to do with your own cell vibrations. You're already singing om. We're always singing om, right? And tuning into that so that instead of singing om, we are actually listening to our own om, right? It's a pretty far out concept, but that's what we're about. So this is the idea, right? Concentrating on that particular object then brings us. And then when that object is there, only that object, right? That pure essence, right? This is samadhi, right? So the shining of that object alone. And let's check out what the other translations have to say about the third sutra of book 3, about samadhi. So, being absorbed in spirit is that consciousness whose object is void of form or goal, and only the essence of the object remains, shining forth. So again, this is Mukunda Styles. Being absorbed in spirit is that consciousness whose object is void of form or goal, and only the essence of the object remains, shining forth. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This is Geshe Michael. Perfect meditation then sees this same object as its simple self, its clear light, totally void of any nature of its own. Perfect meditation then sees this same object as its simple self, its clear light, totally void of any nature of its own. So you might want to check out Prajna Paramita Hudyan Sutra of Gautama the Buddha, right? It's void of a separate self, right? The object shines by itself without any nature of its own, right? Thich Nhat Hanh talks about this as interbeing, right? That every object contains every other object, because no object exists by itself, or no object exists for itself alone. So everything that I eat, right, was brought about by a confluence of, thousands of events, right, millions of events, right. And some people will say every moment is a product of the Big Bang, right. So every moment is the continuation, right, that we're still living in this Big Bang, right. So everything is a product of that primordial explosion, right, if you want to get into that. But nevertheless, right, somebody drove the truck that, brought the grain to the baker where I bought my bread, and of course the baker, all the things that go into that, the electricity for the ovens and the heat for the whole store, all of this, it all comes from somewhere. So we think that even that loaf of bread, everything is contained in that loaf of bread, or everything is contained in that salad, everything is contained in that car, everything is contained in incense, right? Everything is contained in that smoke. So, this is the beauty of life, right? Everything is there in that one thing. And so that this is actually a kind of samadhi then, right? If we look at this logically, that when we're able to see, as William Blake said, that infinity in an hour, right? The whole universe in a grain of sand, right? When we're able to see that, this is true samadhi, right? That everything exists within everything else, and that nothing is existing in and of itself, by itself, or for itself. All right, so I better cut it off there. I think that's plenty to talk about. Again, you're welcome to check out any of these books that I recommend. Yogastudies.org is Paul Harvey's link to Center for Yoga Studies, the Art of Personal Sadhana. I have no affiliation with that website. Just was doing some research of my own and came across his work, and it's a really great database for lots of wonderful yoga studies. So hope this video was informative. I hope you found it useful in some way, shape, or form. And please let me know what you think in the comments below. Really appreciate your help crafting these videos and providing you with things that are really interesting to you, helpful to you on this yoga journey. So again, thank you so much for listening. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Peace. Namaste.